sorry, this is not going to, no, Said, we will, please, I've never had to do it. Said, I've never had to do it, and I will do it, Said. There are many other people here, obviously many also who have concerns about the same city or have different kinds of questions and want the same kinds of answers. This is not the fifth grade. This is the State Department of the United States. You're here. It is a privilege. I like Said. I see you during the gaggles and every day, and I like you very much. And I understand your passion, but you are not directing this conversation or this room. And with that, I will take as many of your questions as I possibly can. Yes.
Do you want to do?
Yeah, well, let's do it. We'll talk to Andrea Mitchell. Yes, ma'am. All righty. Now, Matt, let's go. No, wait. You might
let them go.
Oh,
because I don't think you're going to have anything to say.
Based on the insight that you have, do you have any indication when Secretary would have received the call from the president this morning, last night?
Yes, back to you in a moment. Matt is. You're not ready? He's relaxing at this point. All right, that's fine. That helps me. That helps me know where we need to go. Yes, go ahead, dear. All right. Yes, go ahead, please. Well, now, right after him. Now we'll continue, sir. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Thanks so much.
Please, let's not. I know there's a lot of. This is a room where many of you are reporting for certain regions and for certain countries. There is a lot of passionate things going on. These are existential issues. I'm in a position where I think many of you know me to some degree, where the decorum has to be maintained for us to be able to have these kinds of conversations. And I want all of you to be in here, and I want all of us, as much as we can, to speak about these issues. So please be patient. And sometimes people leave here unsatisfied. Other people leave here early because they're unsatisfied early on. But we are doing our best, and I'm representing an entity that is working constantly on the issues you all care about, and that everyone watching around the world cares about. So let's proceed. And with that, I will take as many of your questions as I possibly can. Yes.
Do you want to do?
Yeah, well, let's do it. We'll talk to Andrea Mitchell. Yes, ma'am.
Would the Secretary consider a request from the President to replace Mike Wallace temporarily or in another fashion, if that is something that the President thinks would be good for the country? Is that something that the Secretary would consider?
I'm not going to jump ahead of thinking what the Secretary might say or do in any context. What we do know is that the President is, in fact, the one who is running this country. It is his leadership and vision that has set the tone and the trajectory and the policy. He has put together a cabinet that understands and operates within a commitment to the nature of the President's vision. And we do know, of course, within all aspects of this, especially with foreign policy, there has been tremendous success in our foreign policy, and of course it continues. And that is a dynamic that's not going to change, but is a result of President Trump's vision and his day-to-day work in making the situation possible and functional. And of course, I would say certainly with what we've done in 100 days with getting people to the table, the nature of what is happening with the Houthis, the fact that Iran is at the table, it is a tremendously successful foreign policy, and whatever the President decides, it will be successful.
Tammy,
all right, now, so we've got a lot of activity down here in the first row.
Something that's just come out from the president.
Yeah. All right, great, terrific.
The president has just written on Truth Social that Mike Waltz is going to become the new U.S. ambassador to the United Nations.
Well, there you go.
No longer the National Security Advisor.
Fabulous.
And in addition to that, he says that in the interim, Secretary of State Marco Rubio will serve as National Security Advisor while continuing his strong leadership at the State Department. Do you know how long he's going to be serving in both roles?
It is clear that I just heard this from you. This is the magic. Well, I have some insights as to the potential of certain things that might happen. But when the president, and this of course is all presidential decisions, right? So I'm with the State Department. It is, as I think would be clear to all of you, you don't want to get ahead of your skis in drawing conclusions or speculating about what may occur. You can have a general sense of what's possible, and then you see that manifest usually. But I think the one thing I've learned is that things don't happen until the president says they're going to happen. So the fact that is, which was obviously Truth Social. Yeah, so that is the miracle of modern technology and the social media. So that is an exciting moment here. I think that, as I know Secretary Rubio, this is a man who, as I think you all know, has worn several hats from day one in managing the nature of what's happened here at the State Department, at USAID. He's someone who is well known by the president. The president makes perfect assessments about who would implement his agenda. And in this case, he's chosen certainly the secretary and Mr. Waltz to facilitate his agenda moving forward. Not entirely surprising, I have to say, and good news for the American people.
You said you had some insights that this might happen. Could you just elaborate on that a little bit?
No, I can't. But thanks for asking.
Do you tell us how from the insights that you do have, knowing the secretary,
sure,
and knowing this building, how do you see this working, and what advantages do you see with Secretary Rubio's experience in this new role?
Well, and also his experience certainly in the Senate for so long. He knows everyone in the city. He knows how the city and how the departments, how the government works. He has a great connection, certainly as a senator, with his constituents here in this building, with the people who work in this building, and with the American people now as they get to know him. So his experience also, really, we've seen him be at the White House several times a week. His close working relationship day to day with the president happens for a reason, because they work well together. They clearly have been in an environment where they've gotten to know each other very well. And we've seen the secretary operate we have to admit, these last 100 days, it's like hanging on to a freaking bullet train. I mean, it is a fast dynamic with people who have a journey that is set with a goal that has been determined, and it's staffed with men and women who understand what the agenda is and how to get it done. Now, this is obviously the president knows everybody in his cabinet, and all those cabinet members have staffs. And every department has people that he gets to know and that make a difference in how the departments work. So when we think about how is Secretary Rubio going to do this, well, it's like, how does President Trump run the United States? You have people around you. It's not just you, right? These aren't single individuals working every day and you pulling the levers. It's about managing people. It's about assigning people to the right roles, as the president has just done. If anybody can do it, certainly with the secretary, as I've gotten to know him, it will be Marco Rubio.
So, Tammy,
all right, now, were you finished in the sense of?
When you get to this, I did want to ask you about the Houthis, because Secretary Hegseth had a very sharply
He did. So
worded
let's do this. Are you going to continue on this line?
No,
we're going to move on. All right. So we've done 3 and 4, and I know. Look, this is and you are going to be all writing stories that I'm going to be fascinated to read. But I think that's pretty much as I can say about the nature of what's going to happen from this point forward today. And so let's go ahead with Andrea and see what else. The Houthis.
Presumably, Deputy Secretary Lando would step up to the daily management here at State. Is this a temporary?
The Secretary Rubio is a very involved, energetic man. Many of you have traveled with him. You see what he's capable of. The American people have seen it. And there's been no point where there is a question about whether or not he could do something or how is he going to manage it. So there's no question about that. But he's not a man who does things in a partial way. And he would not have accepted an assignment if he didn't think he could do it. And he's, of course, working both. With that said, I can tell you that the other leadership in this building, as a newbie to politics, are remarkable. And certainly Deputy Secretary Christopher Landau, never met him, never knew him, and he He chairs certain meetings. You see him in the hallway. This is a man with an extraordinary experience, cares about the individual, has a terrific sense of humor, it asks all kinds of questions, and is one of the most transparent people I've met. He's also very, very good at his job with the diplomatic aspect and moving policy forward. He's a remarkable person. And I think you will, whatever had happened today, you would see more of him. And there's dozens of people in a framework of leadership in this building that have made me comfortable to accept this job, to be in this job, to speak to you in this manner. And the Deputy Secretary is one of them, but there are dozens of others as well who
You see this
I have
as a
faith in.
Kissinger model, who is the only other president that I know of who has done both the State Department and.
Well, I guess we're going to have another one. All righty. Now, Matt, let's go. No, wait. You might.
Let them go.
Oh.
Because I don't think you're going to have anything to say.
Based on the insight that you have, do you have any indication when Secretary would have received the call from the president this morning, last night? Anything?
No, I can't reveal the nature of the details of any exchanges like that. All right. So now, yes, back to you in a moment. Matt is. You're not ready? He's relaxing at this point. All right, that's fine. That helps me. That helps me know where we need to go. Yes, go ahead, dear.
Can you help us understand why this reshuffle is happening, or what it says about the administration's policy priorities that these moves are taking place?
I think what it says is what his first term said to people, is this is a man who is very active, day-to-day, involved, knows what he wants to accomplish. Things also sometimes change. I'm not going to guess at the decisions President Trump makes. What we do know is the results of those decisions. And I've said a few times in this room, as people try to look at the minutia of necessarily the why or how many of one thing or a piece of gossip in a newspaper, that what really matters is the end result and what gets delivered. And I think that it is, for all of us, whether it's any kind of business, is being able to be flexible in a dynamic, in a moment when you feel the need to be flexible. Clearly, this is the president's decision, and he made it for a reason, and I trust him, and the American people will see the results. All right. Yeah, go ahead, please. Well, now, right after him now, we'll continue, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
Thanks so much.
Please, let's not, I know there's a lot of, this is a room where many of you are reporting for certain regions and for certain countries. There is a lot of passionate things going on. These are existential issues. I'm in a position where I think many of you know me to some degree, where the decorum has to be maintained for us to be able to have these kinds of conversations. And I want all of you to be in here, and I want all of us, as much as we can, to speak about these issues. So please be patient. And sometimes people leave here unsatisfied. Other people leave here early because they're unsatisfied early on. But we are doing our best, and I'm representing an entity that is working constantly on the issues you all care about, and that everyone watching around the world cares about. So let's proceed here. Yes, sir. No, let's not continue with the interruptions. For the sake of your colleagues, let's take some time and allow your colleagues to participate here. Thank you. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you so much, Tammy. Let's start with Iran. Today, the Omani foreign minister announced that the fourth round of the indirect talks with Iran has been postponed. Can you confirm that it's postponed or it's cancelled? And then what would you have to share on this with us? And the second one, do you have any reactions about the sectarian violence against the Syrian Jewish population, with 2 days of deadly clashes near Damascus? Has left over 100.
I can speak to both of those. This is what I can say about Iran, is that the United States was never confirmed to be participating in a fourth round of talks with Iran, which people had believed were Saturday in Rome, despite what there had been some reports. The timing and the venue had yet to be confirmed. I think, again, I would say this is a fluid situation, and I'm obviously saying things to you that are somewhat indistinct, but we expect another round of talks that will take place in the near future. So those details, that's what I have here, is that's what I can tell you. And we aren't, though, going, of course, as you might imagine, going to get into the details of any of the negotiations themselves. And that was about, of course, the
sectarian violence in Syria.
Yes. So let's get to this here. We, as we always are in these regions, we're closely monitoring, so we're aware of this, to say the least, including the recent violence against members of the Druze community, so that we are watching that for sure. We urge the interim authorities to hold perpetrators of violence and civilian harm accountable for their actions and ensure the security of all Syrians, every single one of them. And it is, that's all I can say. That's all I can say on that. All right. All right. All right. Go. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Tammy. Two questions for you. Number one, Trump administration, first term and second term, is a foundational part of foreign policy. We'll talk to anybody, whether inviting the Taliban to Camp David or King Jong-un or Putin or whoever. It's no secret the Syrians are here in the States for talks with a lot of people. Why is the Trump admin kind of tiptoeing around the subject of meeting with the Syrians this week?
I don't think it's about tiptoeing. I think it's about what's appropriate. I can tell you that Department of State officials met on April 29th with the Syrian interim authorities in New York. But just like any meeting with anyone, we're not going to tell you the details of that. As a general matter, we, some of you might not know, but we don't comment on private diplomatic conversations. That would kind of ruin the point of them. We continue, though, we can tell you, to urge the interim authorities to choose policies that reinforce stability for Syria's citizens, assure peace with Syria's neighbors, develop Syria's economy, and result in good faith cooperation with the international community. And any future normalization of relations or lifting of sanctions, as an example, which we are asked a lot at this podium, will depend on the interim authorities' actions and positive response to the specific confidence-building measures we have communicated. And those are that they should fully renounce and suppress terrorism, exclude and remove foreign terrorist fighters from any official roles, prevent Iran and its proxies from exploiting Syrian territory, continue taking steps to verifiably destroy Assad's chemical weapons, assist in the recovery of U.S. and other citizens who have been disappeared in Syria, and ensure the security and freedoms of Syria's religious and ethnic minority.
Yes,
in the white shirt. Yes, sir.
I'll move to Gaza if you don't mind.
Of course, please, sure, certainly.
For 2 months now, there have been a blockade of Gaza, that no aid is coming in from the Israelis. There are so many reasons for that, I understand. But the president a few days ago said that food and medicine should enter Gaza.
Yes, he did. He said more than that, even.
Yeah. But the Israelis are not, doesn't seem that they are listening yet. I mean, food is still not there. There is a lot of signs inside Gaza, according to a lot of international organizations, a sign of famine growing in Gaza. Fear of famine is growing in Gaza. What the administration is doing more to push or pressure the Israelis to allow?
Obviously, at this point, we've, as I've noted, we've always we have a policy. We want the aid to resume. We want humanitarian supplies and assistance to resume, as long as it can be safely moved in and there's no looting and people aren't getting mugged and it's not being stolen. And I mean, there are some standards about when you're going to send somebody into essentially a war zone. And I don't think that's a very high bar. At the same time, what are we doing? Well, the President of the United States is engaging in this as well. We have wonderful envoys, people who have changed the world and saved people's lives and get the impossible done. And then you have Donald Trump, who said in more detail, I have it for you here, he said regarding Gaza, we've got to be good to Gaza. These people are suffering. There is a very big need for medicine, food, and we are taking care of it. How that is manifesting, and we talked about this a little bit on Tuesday, I can't give you those details. But when the President of the United States is describing and effectively announcing that action is being taken, and especially this president, you know that is happening, the details of which I can't share with you. I know that, of course, we stand with Israel. They are one of our greatest allies. Our relationship with them is excellent, and we work with them and support them in what their needs are. But in this case, I think we have the best answer regarding the attitude of the United States, and that comes from President Trump. Yes, sir. Behind you, sir. Behind you, sir. Yes, behind you, sir. Sir, this is not going to. No, Saeed. We will. Please. I've never had to do it. Saeed, I've never had to do it, and I will do it. Saeed. There are many other people here, obviously many also who have concerns about the same city or have different kinds of questions and want the same kinds of answers. This is not the fifth grade. This is the State Department of the United States. You're here. It is a privilege. I like Saeed. I see you during the gaggles and every day, and I like you very much. And I understand your passion, but you are not directing this conversation or this room.
The president did indicate on his way back from the Vatican that he would consider secondary sanctions if Russia kept bombing.
He did.
Russia has kept bombing, hasn't agreed to the ceasefire, and he's now apparently agreed to secondary sanctions on Iran, on people who do oil business with Iran. Is he considering secondary sanctions on Russia?
Well, we know, again, that he's stated his willingness to do that, about the nature of, clearly we're not removing any sanctions that currently exist. The president wants, in every action that we've taken as a nation, to do it diplomatically. That he clearly, because of the commitment to it. And yet, he knows also that there's another part of the world, a whole globe, that needs some attention. And the secretary has also made it very clear that while our style will change, the methodology of how we contribute to this will change, in that we will not be the media. Saeed, would you like to say something, sir? Thanks for your patience.
Thank you very kindly. I just wanted to follow up
Yes, sir.
for you to clarify.
Yes, sir.
You said that aid was not going in because of security issues that they
No,
could
I said
provide.
that we want the aid to go in and support humanitarian aid,
Right.
as long as
Right.
there are guarantees
Right.
regarding looting and safety and all. I think that's reasonable.
Okay, yeah, I understand. I
Yes.
just want you to confirm that that is the reason.
Well, I'm not saying, no, I'm describing our standard.
Right.
I'm
I
not giving
understand.
you a reason for something,
Right,
sir.
because in the past, when the war was full scale, let's say before the ceasefire, aid was still going in, and security was provided for the aid to be distributed properly and so on. So there is basically, like a pattern for that. There is
There's
system
ways.
and
There's
agenda
ways.
for that. Yeah,
Yes.
that's all I wanted. I'm sorry if I seem to.
Well, no,
interrupt you,
I
but this is
appreciate
just a
that. Thank
follow-up.
you.
Yeah.
But it's important to know that I will manage the room
Yes, absolutely.
in any way that I need to. And I really don't break my heart for needing to do it in a way that I'd prefer not to.
No, it's